That in the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the Black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words migrate.
Donald Trump won the 2024 election for many reasons: inflation, crime, the border, world stability, and of course, the radical wokeness of the left. The Democrats went ahead and embraced the most fringe ideas they possibly could, and Donald Trump, of course, capitalized on all of this to bring middle America to his side. Now, of course, some of the people on the left still don't understand this fact, like Sunny Hostin, and it takes someone like Bill Maher to go ahead and point this out. But before we get to these clips, please like and comment on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
It's just that in this country, it's binary. I mean, gender may not be binary, but politics is. You only get two choices. And the stuff that they are afraid of, they see Donald Trump as a bulwark against, you know, and that stuff is a lot closer to the home. It's like my kid is coming home from school and they're not allowed to tell me if they're transitioning. The school is going to take the side of the kid over the parent, stuff like that. There is a lot of crazy stuff on the left. That's the answer to the Donald Trump situation is what's going to get him elected is this woke stuff that a lot of people in this country just don't go for.
But it struck me that in the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
Yeah.
So the term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the Black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and so
migrate.
why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice, who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want,
Okay.
because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know, want to call it the super far left, but don't tell me the left
Or maybe the super far right.
Well, he's
Well,
talking about the left. Well, then
Okay,
I'm
but we talked about that. I mean, I think we agree about the danger of the super far right, and I can't say it enough. I think they're the bigger threat. But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a joke. But,
Too dark. Too dark.
Well, maybe it is, but it's true. I mean.
So Bill Maher, of course, has been more reasonable on a lot of issues recently, but he's still a raging leftist, right? Just look at that last joke he made. I remember when it was the conservatives who used to hate the Jews. And it's like, no, we may not like the Israeli government, we may not like the ADL, we may not like AIPAC, but religious Jews are actually very conservative, and of course we embrace them with open arms, and they're a big reason why Donald Trump improved his numbers so much in a lot of these blue states. But none of that stuff really matters. Let's go ahead and get back to the wokeness, okay? As Bill Maher rightly points out, the left has embraced many radical ideas, but Sunny Hostin, what's she upset about? I can't believe you used the term woke because this was really co-opted from the Black community, and of course it means waking up to oppression and blah blah blah, and Bill Maher shuts that down really quick. It's like, it may have started that way, but of course words tend to migrate, all right? And now, of course, what does woke actually mean? Well, basically, if you don't believe that women can be men and men can be women, then you're not woke, okay? If you don't believe that men can play in women's sports, then you're not woke. If you don't believe that men can give birth, then you're not woke. If you don't believe that children should be allowed to permanently alter their bodies, then you are not woke. And that, of course, is what wokeness has come to mean, because it wasn't the right that co-opted this. It wasn't the right who made the left believe all these crazy things. It was the left themselves. They're the ones that turned wokeness into what it means today, and we are just the ones who constantly use that word to point it out. And now, of course, wokeness is dead for all intents and purposes. DEI, gone. Critical race theory, gone. Affirmative action, gone. All of the things the left used to replace meritocracy are now by the wayside because people want to have equal opportunity for everyone in this land of the free and the home of the brave. But don't tell that to Sunny Hostin.
Well, I think I think we're tribal now, which is not good. And I think there's 4 tribes. Basically, there's old school liberals, which I would mostly count myself as, old school conservatives. There's still some of those left.
You've changed, though.
Wait, what are the other two?
Go ahead.
What are the other two?
Well, that's what I, well, that's what I was trying to find out in this book. I don't think I have. And, you know, we were saying in the break, we have to come up with a new word for woke. Let's have a contest, because this is a word that's triggering. But, I mean, those concepts that are different than they were 5 years ago, I mean, we used to do, well, you did it. I was a guest on what was the homeless show? Comic Relief.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
You were, great show.
Yeah.
And homeless was a term that I thought we kind of came up with because people were calling them bums and vagrants and hobos.
Yeah, now that's
homeless. Now, no.
It's unhoused.
Well, it's people
Unhoused.
experiencing
Unhoused.
homelessness. But they're experiencing it on the street.
Yeah.
Okay, the liberal view of that was for compassion's sake. We're the liberals, we're compassionate. Let's get these people off the street.
Yeah.
That's not the view of the, whatever word we're gonna come up with for this. Their view of the homeless is they're an endangered species that needs to be protected in their natural habitat. Living their best life under a bridge. You know, that to me is crazy. That's the kind of things, I haven't changed on that. I still think we should get these people off the street. That's the compassion sake. So I didn't change, they changed, and there's lots of examples of that.
All right, so in this last segment, Bill Maher's trying to make the simple point that there's a lot of people who are your standard leftists, your classical liberals, who I still disagree with, by the way, but Sunny Hostin has to say, you've changed, right? You've changed. Like, no, I haven't. The left has basically just gone so far left, so radical, so woke, that you no longer have anything in common with them anymore. Which is why, of course, a lot of these rank-and-file Democrats that voted for Donald Trump found themselves without a home. I don't agree with wide open borders. I don't agree with spending taxpayer dollars to support illegal immigrants. I don't agree with sending billions of dollars to Ukraine. What in the world can I do? Oh, I guess I'd better vote for Donald Trump because the alternative is much, much worse. And Sunny Hostin just doesn't understand that.
You know, if I had any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left, watching people protest for a terrorist organization like Hamas, that straightened me up pretty quick. Well, I mean, it's just astounding to me that they can't tell the good guys from the bad guys. I mean, just morally. I mean, let me tell you, if you're for Hamas, just live in Gaza for a day. And I'm not talking about while the war is on. I mean, before the war. Trust me, you would go running and screaming and begging to live in Tel Aviv, a place that has your values. I mean, women have no, I mean, this is a show watched by a lot of women. Women have no rights in this place. And a lot of majority Muslim countries around the world. I mean, there is no equal rights as far as speech, dress, opportunities for education, reproductive rights, freedom from sexual violence, freedom from sexual harassment.
The LGBTQ community as well.
Yes.
You that too. But you throw around the term apartheid. There is a gender apartheid in a lot of the world, where women are second-class citizens, at best.
Are you at all concerned about the innocent civilians that have been collectively punished and murdered, largely children and women? And are you at all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu?
Well, that's ridiculous, but it's a war.
Why?
It's a war. Because it's a war, and they were attacked, and they're defending themselves. Now, this is a war. Do you think Hamas needs to be destroyed? This is the question.
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
So how can we do that with a ceasefire?
All right. So Hamas needs to be destroyed because they are a terrorist organization who say openly that they want to commit genocide on the Jewish people, on the state of Israel. That's what from the river to the sea means. Okay? And they say it very openly. They said, we did this attack. They've attacked Israel 5 times. They've started 5 wars since they were given that land back. They could have chosen to turn that place into any place they wanted to, and they took a lot of money that they took from the international community, and they spent it on bombs and guns and building tunnels. So if they need to be destroyed, how do we do that? It's a war. I don't know how to do that, and you don't know how to do that. I assume the Israeli Of course, everybody is, but that's what happens in a war. Here's a way to stop that. Stop attacking Israel.
This, of course, is one of the most insane things to happen over the last several months, was the rise of the left's interest to defend not Palestine, not the Palestinian people, but Hamas itself, a self-avowed terrorist organization that has a sole purpose of wiping Israel off the map completely, right? But the left has completely embraced this movement, okay? You can't even come out and say that Israel has a right to exist to these people, right? Because to them, in their brainwashed mindset, they believe that Hamas are the good guys. And that, of course, is something else Bill Maher points out, right? We used to know the good guys from the bad guys. And of course, I'm not going to say that Israel is good and upstanding in every single thing that they do, because they're a government like any other place in the world, and governments don't always have the best interests of their people at heart. But I personally do believe that if Hamas would just leave Israel alone, there would actually be peace in the Middle East. But this idea, once again, that the left cannot tell the good guys from the bad guys, the good ideas from the bad ideas, oppression from freedom, right? That, of course, is the crux of this whole argument. The radical left has completely taken over the Democrat Party, and there's nothing the left doesn't say that the Democrat Party does not endorse as a whole, or at least they will not disavow it on their party platform. If you look at the party leadership, there is not one person that would stand up against all the crazy wokeness I mentioned earlier: transitioning children, men playing in women's sports, and of course men being able to become women. All that stuff is now ingrained in the Democrat Party, and it's going to take a huge effort to get that stuff rooted out. And that, of course, is what the problem is. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.